Hello Guardians, and welcome to today's video in which I'll be talking about the artworks of Future War Code, New Monarchy, and Dead Orbit Anubis. And before I get on to today's video, I just want to say real quick that I hope everyone had a good 4th of July weekend. I know I did. So with that being said, let's get on with today's video. So for the Future War Code Anubis, I use a little bit of acrylic paint and ink to do the clothing as well as the logos and the crystals and diamonds you see around him. Mostly for the logos and diamonds, I use more ink than I did with acrylic paint. As for the skins to Anubis, I use a little bit of acrylic paint and Prismacolor pencils to mix in the colors so it could stand out. Now, unlike the New Monarchy and Dead Orbit, the Future War Code Anubis has two weapons. You can also see that one of the weapons he has a Future War Code logo on it with the color reverse, kind of like the emblem from Destiny. And you can also see that the head is a symbol of a dog due to his purpose in war. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at the New Monarchy one. So unlike the Future War Code one, the New Monarchy one, I had to use a lot more acrylic paint to make the red stand out. But I didn't use any ink for this one. Instead, I used Prisma markers to help the reds make out more. And for the skin, just like the last one, just a little bit of acrylic paint and Prismacolor pencils. You can also see that this one has an eagle's head on it since it fits the purpose of New Monarchy. And even though he has one weapon, he could use both ends for weapon and self-defense, which gives him, good advantages. Alright, so we're going to take a look at the Dead Orbit one. Now, unlike the Future War Code and New Monarchy one, once again for the Dead Orbit, I had to use tons and tons of black ink. I did use a little bit of acrylic paint, but I didn't want to use too much because the problem is if you use too much acrylic paint with black ink, and if you're not careful with the colors are not going to look right, and they're going to look, pretty stupid. So I was careful on that part, but I also did use pastel for the gray and for a little bit of the darker parts. As for the skin, I use once again acrylic paint and Prismacolor pencils. But I made the skin for the Dead Orbit Anubis turn out more, making more tone, making more dark. You can also see that this Anubis has a skull of Anubis to his belt buckle. So for my question for each of you guys is, should any of these Egyptian gods run into each other? Which one will you go for and why? I will leave the interpretation up to you. Now, I've always had a thing for Egyptians, due to their history and background and their purpose in war. So I figured why not, have Future War Code, New Monarchy, and Dead Orbit, Anubis. And we also know that Destiny has a reference to Egyptian as well, due to the whole Trials of Osiris and so forth. Now, I hope each of you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like. And for those of you who are new to this channel, if you want to see more upcoming fashion artworks coming up, then hit that subscribe button. Please do note that these videos could take weeks or longer depending on the details of the pictures. If you also want to check out my last video of the Faction Eternal Skull, I will leave the link in the description below. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope everyone takes care, be safe, and Guardians, peace out.